Hi everyone, welcome to another craft time with me. I'm Christy, if this is your first time crafting with us. And if it's not, then welcome back and thanks so much for coming back. I work with Paradise Activity Company. We are an activity company that runs activities in resorts all around the US. And with last year being what it was, we came up with a lot of activities that you could do from home or from your room if you're staying with us at one of our resorts. And if you are, be sure to go pick up the materials from the activity center for whichever craft it is that you're doing. If you're not, there are lots of places that you can get the materials for the different crafts. A lot of them might be stuff that you already have around the house anyway, so yeah. Today we are learning how to make lanyards. These are a lovely throwback. I know we brought these to the activity center that I'm at, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I haven't done that since summer camp or Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or what have you. And yes, these are very popular in various camp type settings because the materials are really easy to get your hands on and in a variety of colors, and they're not super difficult to learn. You will probably see me get frustrated in the very beginning, just with starting it off, because getting them started around the keychain, in all honesty, sometimes can be a little bit frustrating, especially when you're doing this on camera. But once you get past that, it's really simple. There are so many different designs that you can do with these as well. And then you might be wondering what it's attached to. We have some of these at some of our various resorts. You can get them online, I'm sure, as well, if you're not staying with us. But these are touch tools. They're really great if you're worried about catching or spreading germs. Essentially, they're used to do stuff so that your hands don't have to out in public, like open doors. I do this every day at work. I use one of these. Maybe you have to take the elevator a lot. You can use it to press the button on the elevator, or, you know, just anything, anywhere. Grocery shopping, I guess, maybe. I haven't really tried it there. But yeah, you can play around with them. It's essentially made to be a safer tool for you to use in our germy world. And that's what we attach our fun little lanyards to. Now, you can just make a lanyard for yourself and attach it to your regular keychains or give it to friends or whatever you'd like. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. This will be video 1 in a series of lanyard videos. So this will be the first lanyard, the most basic, just a simple box weaving. So let's do it. So we're gonna need a few things to make one of our fun lanyards. And since we're starting with the most basic version, you need 2 colors to start off. So I have a bunch of pre-measured lanyard string here. I like to say 2 feet. I know that sounds like a lot, but you bend them in half and then they get all folded up. And you know, it's not super long. 2 feet is a great measurement to start off with. I have lots of fun, different, bright colors. And because Mother's Day is tomorrow, I'll do one that reminds me of my mom. So I'm gonna pick yellow and not pink. She's not really a pink person, but she like this bright orange that sometimes looks like pink. That would be a good one for her, and they go together well. Plus, you want 2 colors, especially when you're starting off, that you can clearly see the difference in, so that when you're folding back and forth over and over, it's easier to see. Okay, so we've got our colors picked out. and we got 2 of them. The other thing you'll need is a little key ring. Now whether you go and you pick some of these up or you use one that's already on your keychain that's just empty and sad, you can use any key ring, big or small, and that is what we're going to use to start it. And then the last thing that we'll need are, ready? Beads! I've got a ton of different colors here. These are what are called pony beads. I'm still not 100% sure why, and I've been using pony beads for years, and it's one of those things that like mentally I question, but I've never actually asked the question out loud or done any research on it. And I think I just kind of want to leave it that way. It's like one of my great mysteries in life. But anyway, I'm going to use a white bead, and we use the beads to end them. There's like fire and melting methods, but sometimes that can just straight up A, ruin the end of your lanyard, and B, I'm not a huge fan of melting plastic when it's unnecessary, because this is plastic thread. I don't know if I said that, but it's plastic thread. We want 2 feet of it in 2 colors. And 1 pony bead in a color of your choice. It doesn't have to be a pony bead. These are just really easy to find in craft stores and bulk sections, but anything that's got like a wider mouth on it is going to be a good bead to use. So you could use like a wood bead, a metal bead. It can have a fun design on it, just as long as the mouth is wide enough for your strings to fit through in the end. And the last thing, I mean, you'll need probably a ruler to measure out your string. Like I said, mine was already pre-measured, but you'll need scissors, and we'll use those in the end as well. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 2 strings here, and we're gonna thread them through our key ring like this until we reach all the way down to their ending counterparts like this. So you've now got it in half like this. I would not suggest starting where the key ring meets each other. It's just kind of annoying when it gets stuck on the lip there. So you want to do it just anywhere else on the key ring. I usually start like directly across because sometimes it'll move around anyway, and so that keeps it from getting to that where the lip is and getting stuck. Okay, so to start this off, we're starting off here with this lovely key ring. We are going to pull string A, which for me is the yellow string, in either direction. It will be the one on the bottom, and then string B, which for me is this like bright orange one, in kind of like a crisscross direction. And it's gonna be tucked right in between the key ring and the yellow string. I'm gonna bring this up so you can see the yellow's on the bottom, then comes the orange, then comes the key ring. And now comes, this will be the most difficult part of this whole craft. So just bear with me if I have to do it a few times. Maybe it'll be like a blooper reel. Oh, let me explain what I'm doing. We're going to take one side of string A, and we are going to bring it just directly over the key ring like that, making like a little hump. And then the same thing, we're going to take the opposite side of string A and bring it over to the other side, making a hump going in the other direction. So it looks like you've got like a loop going around, but that's got an open end on either side. And then from there, let's kind of hold those guys in place. Come on. Stay. We're going to take string B. I love calling them these. Okay. So you've got your humps that this one's open-ended furthest from me, and this one's open-ended closest to me. String B from my side is going to go over the open-ended side closest to me and then through the hump that's closest to you. And the reason for this is if it goes through on a side where it's going through an open-ended hump, when you go to pull it, it's just going to go right back to nothing. So now string B coming from you, your side, is going over the first folded string here of string A, and then through that hump all the way to me. Just gonna pull it through, and then you can kind of start to see the mess of a box on top. You're just gonna pull all of these strings tight in the directions that they're already going. Ooh. Ooh. And I did it on the first try this time. I really thought it was going to take me longer on camera. Okay, just changing the angle and setting and stuff for a second so you can see what this box knot looks like. It's woven through each other. It's pulled tightly into the key ring. So it's secure. It's going to look like this little X underneath. See that? And yeah, so we are going to do the exact same thing over and over and over again now, only because it is no longer the starting it off. It'll get easier and easier and easier and easier. So I'll explain it one or two more times and then just finish it and show you how to finish it. Okay, so let's do this like 5 more times. Yeah, let's say that. Okay, so you don't have to do it this way. It does not matter which string you start with. But for the sake of learning and consistency, we're going to continue starting with string A. And so again, we're going to come from one side and just flip it over itself, making a little hump. And then the same thing from the other side. Okay, listen to me. And then what I find easiest is I pinch them together through the inside of the key ring here to keep them in place while I deal with string B. And so again, the hump closest to me is open on this side and closed on this side, and the hump closest to you is open on this side and closed on this side. So the string that is closest to me is on my right side. So it's going to go over the open one and then through the closed one. Okay. Make sure you don't twist it. And then the string closest to you is on my left side, and that is going to go over the string A part that's closest to you, and then under / through the hump that's closest to me. You can kind of see the little square forming you can let go of those yellow strings, and then you're just going to pull them in the direction that they're already going until they're super tight. And the nice thing about this plastic thread for this and pulling it is you don't really have to worry about it like snapping under pressure. If it does, then you are super strong, and maybe crafting isn't your calling, but like saving the world might be. Cause wow. Okay, so again, string A is going over and over to the opposite sides. I'm gonna pinch them inside the key ring here. And then string B, the side that's closest to me, is on the left side this time, and it's going over the open and then through the closed hump. And then same thing from the other side, we're going to go over the open and through the closed. Again, we've got a nice little box on top, so we're just going to go ahead and tighten that, pulling the strings in the direction that they are already going. See, it's very simple. No added frou-frou, just over one way, over the other way. That's all string A is doing. String B is just going over and through, and pulling through and not twisting. Christy. If you see it twist, try to untwist it before you tighten it, because otherwise you'll end up with a twist in your lanyard in the long run. And if you're anything like me, having that like one little imperfection should not bother me as much as it does in something so simple as a lanyard. We've got our little box on top, and now we're just going to tighten it. So we've got our little perfect square. You can see it's starting to build, and as you do, you can see string A's color is all on one side, string B's color is all on one side, string A's color is all on one side, and string B's color is all on one side. And so we are going to continue doing this until we get it to a super fabulous fun length. So let's go. Okay, I could go longer with it, but I just want to show y'all where we're at. So see, no twists or anything like that. It's like pretty evenly tight all the way around, because I really make sure that I pull it as tight as I can each time. You've got that nice, like, it's almost like a coral color now that I'm looking at it with this yellow, that look really good, and they pop next to each other. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you how to finish it. I might decide to add more later, so I'm not gonna cut it after. But getting this much done, that was probably about 10 minutes. This is such an easy one to do, like outside where the weather is freaking gorgeous, or you know, something like that. So you know, go hang by the pool, or get in a hammock, or go for a hike, and then whenever you're stopped, wherever you're stopped, you've got lanyard to pull out and make. Okay, at this point, not all of your strings will be even. I don't know why this happens. Every lanyard I've ever made, they can all start off like perfectly the same lengths, and you've folded them in half perfectly, but somewhere along the way they're suddenly all different lengths. It's okay. We're gonna start with, we're gonna hold them all together and start with our longest one and bead it through. And then you get to your next two, which happen to be both the orange ones, and thread those through the bead. And then move it on down to our last, he's trying to run away. Our last yellow one, and just get him through as well. There we go. And now, once they're all through, you can just slide the bead down and, oops, you just pull those through, slide the bead down more. And then we're going to take all of our strings and we are going to make them into one big loop and then pull the rest of those strings through said loop, creating one giant knot that's going to sit right on top of our bead. So just as you tighten it, try to slide it down, not around the bead, but to on top of the bead. This always happens. Okay. If you've got some that were sticking out like mine, you just pull the strings individually. Like I said, it takes a lot to break plastic thread, and if you manage to do it, you're a superhero. That's it. Right. So the part that I'm not doing right now is I would trim some of it off. Now, I would not trim all the way down to the knot. It is still plastic thread, so it is slippery. If you do that, you risk the knot coming undone, and then there goes all of your beautiful work. I usually leave it with some fringe and enough to like kind of, like this one, pull it tighter when I feel like I might need to. So you just trim it to a nice length. This is like 1.5 inches of fringe. Yeah, so I would do like 1 inch to 2 inches of fringe. That should be plenty. And then you're good to go. Attach it to a keychain. Sorry, it's not a keychain, but attach it to your key ring, attach it to one of our touch tools, give it away as a gift, go make some more of them in a variety of colors. I'm telling you, once you start doing these, it's very like therapeutic and meditative and addictive all at the same time. One of my favorite crafts, and parents, it's mess free. I mean, let's just angle this camera down for a second. Look at the mess. There is none. It's literally just the craft. You're done. There's no cleanup other than what you trimmed off to make your fringe after. So, as far as that's concerned, I'm crooked now. This is what I get for playing with cameras. It's like a 5 out of 5 when it comes to crafts. It's a great introductory craft. We're gonna do some more here in a little bit, so just stay tuned.